Hey, yo, I just caught your interview on Morning Joe. Or as I like to call it, Morning You. You get it?
Who is this?
Now, the establishment in the post-debate world have clearly made, at least in part, by which I mean part of the establishment, have made a choice to eliminate Joe Biden, to push for Kamala Harris, but some people are pushing for Gavin Newsom, and some people, yet, are pushing for Biden to remain in power. I mention this only as significant because what were they thinking prior to the debate? How can they have been deluded? In fact, we did that live on Rumble, like sort of a watch along. God knows there were some technical complications. But while I was watching it, albeit late at night and puffing upon a cigar, I didn't even really, I just like, there's Joe Biden doing his best, doing what he's been doing for the past couple of years now, mangling vowels and chewing his way through verbiage, the living opposite of loquacity, spilling words wildly, odd pauses and mumbles and jarring statements. But something must have changed. Someone must have been telling lies about Joseph K, because all of a sudden it's permissible for legacy media and establishment spaces to ridicule him. Now, I know that that will be an indicator of ulterior changes. The same way if you crop up in a church in this country and they say, pray for the general election, pray for all the participants in the general election. You know there's been a memo somewhere. A memo has filtered down. And there's clearly been a memo sent to MSNBC, CNN, late night TV, because suddenly the kind of jokes that were not affordable a year or so ago, 18 months ago, 6 months ago, when they were awash with sketches pillorying Joe Rogan for being pale and having used ivermectin, when they were continually condemning Trump for being the colour that the Spanish would call naranja. Now, all of a sudden, they care about Joe Biden's amentia, senescence, and evident senility. What changed? Here's Jimmy Fallon doing a sketch about him. It's actually, I think, quite good because I like the way Jimmy Fallon is a very beautiful comic actor, I actually think.
Hello.
Hey, yo, I just caught your interview on Morning Joe. Or as I like to call it, Morning You. You get it?
Who is this?
Come on. It's Barack.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Obama.
Oh, I know. It was just a test to see if you knew who you were.
Oh, Joe, you're making about as much sense as you did during the debate.
Thank you.
Not a compliment. Speaking of the debate, I gotta ask, what was that weird face you were making when Trump was talking? You know the face.
This is the bit that I think is funny.
Oh, this one.
Because I like the comedic idea that he would have a memory of what the face was and that he was somehow doing it deliberately and can therefore recreate it. That's comedically well observed. The rest of it's a little bit long and, you know, the kind of stuff people do these days. But my point is this. When did it become permissible and when does it transition from verboten to necessary to mock Joe Biden? And what does that indicate? Well, it's clear what it indicates is now they are maneuvering. When I say they, I suppose I mean some ulterior forces that actually maneuver power. People talk all the time, don't they? In fact, in my conversation with Candace Owens that will be up on Friday, we talked about the obvious shadow government that maneuver behind the scenes, controlling power from behind institutional spaces that are accessible for the electorate. Like, many people believe, and I am among them, that the problem with Donald Trump is that he's a kind of havoc-creating berserker who can't be controlled in the same way as someone like Joe Biden. But now there has been some tipping point. You're not seeing Donald Trump constantly assaulted and attacked in the media, although he's still saying some pretty out there things. You're seeing Biden attacked. That's not only in soft culture spaces like this comedy sketch, but also in legacy media outlets that in the past were rigidly sticking to the idea that Joe Biden was competent and capable. It's ridiculous. Well, what does it matter? Trump's old as well. So what has actually changed? Now, before we get into analysing that, I want to pose a few questions. Where are the ethics, morals, and principles that are framing our political ideals now? What are they formulated on? And it's a question I want you to hold in your mind. And I also sort of increasingly wonder whether or not a golf tournament is a plausible way to decide who should be president of the United States. I mean, if elections are rigged, if the media's controlled, if the candidates are bogus, why don't you just let them play 18 holes and see if they win? Here's Donald Trump at his Trumpist.
And in the debate, Sleepy Joe also declared that he wanted to test his skills and stamina against mine on the golf course. Can you believe this? Did you ever see him swing? He's like this.
Is it that Trump's audience have a view on Joe Biden's golf swing, like a perspective? It's not like ridiculing him for something that's overt and obvious and in the public imagination. I mean, I bet he does hunch in the manner that Donald Trump rendered it, but the audience are very willing to go along, aren't they? There's a lot of goodwill at that rally. We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Usury and debt are sins. Why would you base your entire economic system on sinfulness? Why would it be at the heart of everything we do? Do you sometimes think, how am I working so hard and still so heavily in debt? You get overdue bills and threatening phone calls, you never have any money to do anything. Just relentless. It won't stop. Well, Zero Debt USA is the way out. They've developed powerful new strategies to zap your debt quickly. Would you believe this? Permanently. Zero Debt USA stand between you and the bill collectors, negotiate with creditors to lower what you owe without bankruptcy or new loans. Won't that be a relief to you? Some debt solutions are time sensitive, aren't they? You know that already, so hurry, you don't want to miss out. Visit zapmydebt.com, talk to one of their debt relief strategists. Hello, I'll relieve you of your debt. I got a strategy. It's free. Find out how fast they can get you out of debt. You might be watching this now thinking, the whole system of usury is sinful and shame-based. Is there a way out? There is. It's Zap My Debt. Talk to a debt strategist today. Go to zapmydebt.com. That's zapmydebt.com. Do I need to spell it out for you? There's a solution. Okay, back to the content.
That's why this evening I am also, and this is in honor of you and everybody here, is it 45,000 people? That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
I'm also officially challenging Cricket Joe.
A lot of people in the Rumble chat, man. They might as well, says Warrior of God for Life, Disco Duck 2, duel! Yeah, why not? Why not? Does it make sense anymore? In a minute, we'll show you a clip on legacy media where a familiar pundit says that the presidential candidates in the next debate should be able to have AIDS on stage and tries to make an argument for it as if it's for any reason other than facilitating Joe Biden's dementia and revealing that there are more than one camp at work. There is more than one camp at work. There is a camp that's like, we have to eliminate Biden. Oh no, we've gone too far. Everyone's realised he's senile. Oh no, it's just such an obvious metaphor for the decay of our institutions and indeed our party and neoliberalism more broadly, and the fact that we clearly need a new idea, like as if some archetypal force has come through and is showing the world, in spite of all our duplicity and attempted Machiavellian manoeuvres, that the figure of the president himself is falling apart as the perfect indication of what's happening to the system. Like you can't prevent it, like a Freudian slip of a president. Like when your president is falling, it makes you think, oh no, yeah, we need significant change. Are you going to get significant change? I don't know. But what you might as well do at this point is resolve America's political crisis with a golf tournament. And I like the way Trump frames it and the sort of the degree that he appears to have thought it out.
To an 18-hole golf match right here. Underows Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history.
Most sporting, and then it'd be among the most sporting events in history, most watched sporting events in history. But then the two examples you give are both golf events. Like, why didn't he say Rumble in the jungle or the World Cup final? He stays on topic within the milieu of golf. So he could have said one of the, which I think would have been funnier, but one of the most watched golf events in history. Because then it would be, wouldn't it? Because you sort of can't really categorize it as a golf event. But if Mike Tyson and Jake Paul can fight, do you see it? Or like you get Elon Musk saying he'll fight Zuckerberg or vice versa or whatever it was. And you see the kind of parody, pastiche and ridiculousness of our late and decrepit systems, that it's all sort of falling into a kind of berserkness. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. Abraham Lincoln, and I can't imagine, of course I'm not well educated enough to know who he won the presidency against, who was Democrat, if indeed it was Democrats then, I presume it was. Like, I know he was a Republican. Like he wouldn't have gone, I'll pay tiddlywinks against any one of you sons of bitches. I'll be in a trout fishing tournament against one of you. We'll stretch our foreskins as long as they go, and the one who can wind their foreskin most around their finger, foreskin and 20 years ago. Like, that's like, there's a sort of dignity has left the office,
Maybe bigger than the Ryder Cup or even the Masters. And I will even give Joe Biden 10 strokes aside. 10 strokes, that's a lot.
That's a lot. He explains sort of some of the nomenclature of golf here.
That means 20 strokes in case you don't play golf. I will give him 10 strokes aside, and if he wins, I will give the charity of his choice.
Drum roll, charity of his choice. That's so funny. And then look at the amount.
Any charity that he wants, $1 million.
$1 million.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.